Honorable Chairperson and members of the Judiciary Committee, I speak tonight in support of H 5100, H 5158, and H 5399, and in opposition to H 5343 and H 5830. I will focus my testimony on two of these bills. H 5100, which seeks to ban the dismemberment abortions in Rhode Island, and H 5343, which seeks to establish a regimen of virtually unregulated taxpayer-funded abortion on demand in Rhode Island right up until the moment of birth. Americans were horrified by the summer 2015 release of undercover videos showing employees of Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest abortion chain, negotiating prices, quantities, and types of fetal body parts they could harvest and supply from the babies aborted at their facilities. During the past few months, in December to be precise, both chambers of Congress have concluded lengthy investigations into these allegations, and both chambers have recommended criminal investigations into Planned Parenthood. The abortion method frequently described in the Planned Parenthood videos, the dilation and evacuation, or D&E abortion, is the abortion method frequently used for procuring intact tissues, organs, and body parts from these aborted babies. It is a brutal type of abortion during which the living unborn child is literally torn apart limb from limb in her mother's womb, the various pieces being pulled out through the birth canal. I have submitted written testimony with 5 pages of questions and answers about this proposed ban on dismemberment abortions, as well as a diagram illustrating precisely and exactly what it is you are considering. I urge you to support House Bill 5100. I also speak briefly tonight in opposition to House Bill 5343, which stands in very stark contrast to House Bill 5100. House Bill 5343 is the most extreme abortion bill we have seen in Rhode Island. House Bill 5343 would prohibit the state from restricting, again, prohibit the state from restricting, that is banning the use of, quote, medically recognized methods, end quote, of abortion. We have just discussed a proposed ban on the medically recognized method described as dismemberment abortion. Another such medically recognized method is partial birth abortion. H 5343 would protect the use of these two inhumane and gruesome methods of late-term abortion in Rhode Island by prohibiting the state from restricting their use. H 5343 would allow, and by the way, if you've got the one-page bill before you, I'm kind of following the paragraphs point by point so you can see I'm following very closely to the bill itself. H 5343 would allow abortions beyond our present quick child threshold. The inadequacy of its proposed definition of fetal viability becomes evident in contrast to our present ban on late-term abortions performed on what is defined presently in Rhode Island law as, quote, an unborn child whose heart is beating, who is experiencing electronically measurable brainwaves, who is discernibly moving, and who is so far developed and matured as to be capable of surviving the trauma of birth with the aid of usual medical care and facilities available in the state. For objective criteria, not left to the discretion of the attending physician, 4 objective criteria spelled out in our long-standing current state law since 1975. H 5343 would replace this objective statutory definition with a subjective determination of fetal viability left solely to the discretion of the attending physician, that is, the abortionist who stands to gain financially. H 5343 would strike down most of our long-standing informed consent requirements. Proponents point to the carve-out for a parental consent requirement, but fail to mention that this is just one of 8 sections of our informed consent law, the other 7 sections of which would be struck down, exposing women to exploitation by what has proven to be a predatory abortion industry. H 5343 would prohibit the state from restricting the, quote, manner in which abortions are provided. Please understand that each of the hundreds of bills you consider each year to regulate various businesses and professions, whether restaurants, plumbers, veterinarians, physicians, insurance companies, or hairdressers, accomplish their purpose precisely by restricting the manner in which these goods and services are provided. H 5343 proposes to exempt the abortion industry from such restrictions, placing abortionists in a singularly protected class under Rhode Island law, beyond regulatory oversight by the Department of Health and other state and local agencies. Lastly, as is explained in the 3 legal analyses we have submitted to this committee from distinguished attorneys, the language in 5343 that prohibits the state from interfering in a woman's decision would likely be interpreted by the courts so as to repeal and prohibit state restrictions on public funding for abortion and state employee coverage for elective abortion. I would be happy to address any questions I'm able